Okay, alright, should we do this then?
Send us off, intro it up.
Okay. I'm not going to introduce myself. Hey guys, welcome to welcome to another episode of Bulletin Broadcast. I'm here with the regulars. We've got Jared with us.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And of course, Greggy Boy.
Hello, and we're also here with Ben.
Oh yeah.
Well,
you guys can introduce me. You guys can introduce me. It's cool.
He's the founder and general king of Games Bulletin.
He's the initial voice that you hear, hopefully, when you're watching these.
Yeah.
Or listening to these.
Unless you somehow manage to blank me out, then...
Yeah, exactly.
He's the guy who's involved in the video of this on this channel. Like, virtually every video of this channel, I assume. Possibly all of them.
The majority. Some have Paul in. But yeah, the majority.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Right, let's hit the Assassin's Creed stuff then, shall we, boys?
Ooh, Assassin's Creed!
Because screenshots were reportedly leaked and reportedly a name. What we got?
I think so. I think
Assassin's
it's a name
Creed
and then
Origins.
the screenshot.
And then there's one screenshot in this article, and it just looks like a typical Assassin's Creed game to me.
Yeah, but it looks pretty.
It does look pretty. I've been following this quite closely, actually. So they've also leaked. Well, we've known for a while that it's probably going to be in ancient Egypt, but they've also recently leaked. I mean, I'm saying leaked and doing like little what they call quotation marks.
Is it parentheses or some shit? Isn't it?
I don't know. Americans probably call it
quotations.
Something like
Oh, I think
quotation
it's quotation. Yeah.
I've been doing that, but people can't see that because it's a fucking podcast. But that's what I'm doing. I'm saying quote like with the quotes. So they've leaked that it's gonna involve naval stuff again, and that you're gonna be able to go to Greece as well as Egypt, and
that sounds cool.
like go down the Nile and go through everything and do crazy stuff. Like it sounds quite interesting, and it's supposed to be. They keep talking about it as being like Skyrim, which is generally whenever like they want to hype up a game, they say it's going to be like Skyrim.
Yeah, that's always the
whenever
card
they
that
want to
gets
hype
played,
up an
isn't it?
RPG, they say it's going to be we're inspired by Skyrim, or it's going to be Skyrim-esque, which just means Skyrim is a good RPG. Think of that when you think of us.
It just means it's a big world as well. That normally tends to be what it is.
It's kind of funny how not only just like this game, but other games have done that as well too. Like this is Skyrim with guns, or like Zelda and Skyrim mixed together. Skyrim always comes back. They should give themselves a nice pat on the back for that. Like, hey,
they were a very successful game.
Oh yeah,
it certainly seems like they have learnt from what people wanted. You know, people love Black Flag, so they're kind of like, okay, well, we'll keep that aspect of it. But
I think that's what I'm most excited about.
See, I don't know. I never play Assassin's Creed games, so
at all.
I played 1 and 2, and then I never touched another one.
Well,
the first like 4, I think, were really good. Like the Ezio storyline were great. I loved those ones, and I loved Black Flag for just the sheer gameplay, like the boat stuff and exploring all the islands were amazing. Again, plot wise, couldn't tell you what was going on.
It has my interest just because I've always been into ancient Egypt. It's always one of the places and eras that's kind of interest me the most out of all the ancient history.
It's also it's sorry to interrupt, but it's also, I think, I mean, it says Origins. It's meant to be, I guess, about the very beginning of the Assassin's Order as well, so it's probably going to be quite accessible. Since it's a prequel, like
you won't have to have played.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's not going to be attached to their like trilogy thing.
There'll be things that you'll look and you'll go, "Oh, this is what happened with like so and so," and if you know more of the storyline, bits of it will probably make more sense. But
you don't need it.
It's certainly. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. If it's going to be an Origins, then it's kind of like a prequel at the end of the series.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of wrote themselves into a corner with the sort of meta storyline about modern day Templars and stuff after 3, and after that, I've not even remotely been following. Like, I've played all of the Assassin's Creed games after that, and the like stuff on the surface has just been you being like an employee in like, what is the company even called? Like Abstergo Entertainment. Like you're like always in first person view at
that's kind of how like Black Flag is, because Black Flag is like you're playing an employee that goes in and does these like history scenes and stuff like that. Like you sit at a computer and stuff, but it is like a first person view in the very beginning.
Yeah.
And you work for the company and you try to you look for things in history as well too.
Yeah.
So just to sort of play devil's advocate kind of a little bit, when do you think they're going to stop with Assassin's Creed? Do you think it's ever going to get to the point where people are going to be like, okay, enough is enough?
I don't know. I mean,
because potentially, potentially it could go on forever, you know.
Yeah.
You could just have it following modern day and echoing back to the past.
But then after that, you could you can have it following like history as well too, but then you can get to a point where you can just lead it into like the future and just start coming up with your own story as well too. I mean, I don't know how like plot wise that would be, because it's all about the past, but
I mean, obviously I'm in a bit of a limited point of view here based on my social group is a lot of history buffs at uni, but everyone I know that enjoys Assassin's Creed loves it for the stuff in history. I don't think they'd be smart to take it into the future, but theoretically they can keep going with Assassin's Creed forever, because I mean, I'm studying a history degree. A lot of shit has happened in the past. They've got material.
Official ruling from the history buff.
Yeah, things have happened in the past.
Things have happened. That's going to be the new Assassin's Creed slogan. Things have happened. 2018.
There you go. You guys can have that if you want.
Yeah, you can take that.
But it's exciting. I'm excited to see the new setting. I'm excited to see the potential of that. I'm excited
to see a year's worth of progress. That's what I'm excited to see.
Yeah, they took a year break. I mean, they didn't really take a year break, because in reality they did release another Assassin's Creed game. They released fucking Ezio Collection, which didn't make much of a positive difference from what I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. That wasn't particularly great.
Yeah. And I still wouldn't mind buying that if it dropped below 20 quid, but it will never do that. Well, it will in like 2 years. But yes, my point is Assassin's Creed Origins looks interesting. I think it's probably going to be telling the story, because I don't know if I think it was Assassin's Creed 2. Jared, you may remember this. Ben, you're less likely to remember this, but you also could. Well, just due to the fact that you're not so interested in the IP, but there's loads of major assassins in like the temple thing under Montegergioni or whatever that place is called, and one of them is an assassin who assassinated Cleopatra with a snake. I think it is.
Oh, is that the thing where you had to collect something, didn't you? And there was one for each one, wasn't there? Like statues or some shit.
Yeah. And that's how you get like a really good suit of armor.
Yeah, it was underneath the big villa.
I might even be thinking of Brotherhood. I can't remember though.
Well, I remember it, so I'm pretty sure it was 2.
Okay, 2 then.
So okay, so you do think that this was kind of set in stone from a while back?
Well, I think back then they thought we need to set like roots down for all sorts of stories that we can potentially tell in the universe. Let's set up a couple of cool ideas. Oh, here's the first proper assassin, the first recorded assassin in history or whatever it is, who killed a guy with a snake. And then you got like, I can't even remember who they were, but they're like, this guy's the first guy with the recorded hidden blade and all of this. I may be completely misremembering this, because I haven't played Assassin's Creed 2 in like 6 years.
The only thing I know about Assassin's Creed is that before was it before Da Vinci got a hold of the glove, you had to cut off the ring finger, and then he did some shit that meant he didn't have to.
Yeah, he well, because
I think so.
The gauntlets were originally designed to ensure the commitment of the assassins, and that meant losing a finger. But then, like, Da Vinci was just like, yeah, I just took out this bit. Ha ha ha! You don't have to lose a finger.
Oh, good old Da Vinci, that jokester.
Good old Da Vinci.
Yeah. Okay, I think
it was bound to happen. It was about to happen eventually for our Origins game of like the first Assassins.
It had to come on at some point.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of hoping that the reason. I mean, I don't enjoy the IP, but I know it's a very much enjoyed IP, so I'm kind of hoping that the reason for the Origins game isn't because they're coming to the end of what they have planned.
Mm-hmm.
They got shit for ages. They've been hinting about Japan like koi bastards for ages.
I tell you now, if they announce an Assassin's Creed set in Japan, I will buy that happily. Mainly
they have like
just because I don't have a current gen version of Tenchu to play. So until I either get a Tenchu remaster or an Assassin's Creed in Japan, whichever comes first, I will jump on that.
Well, they have like all like the Chronicles series, which there's like China and Russia, and then the third one. I don't remember what the third one was, but they're like side-scrolling.
Oh,
it was actually I played China, and it wasn't too bad. I really enjoyed it.
I played the first 15 minutes of that, and I was like, because I'm not big on platformers, but I was like, that was okay, I guess.
I think that's why I really do enjoy platformers as well too, and it kind of has like the Assassin's Creed like plot to it, I guess, and there's the stealth and everything as well too. But
okay, the next one we're gonna do, I'm gonna let Jared take the reins because I feel like he'll know a bit more about why this is viable than I will. So they're selling a standalone dock for the Nintendo Switch. So you buy it, and it's the dock, a charger, and another HDMI cable.
Mm. And yes, don't get me wrong, it is
Jared, is
fairly
$90.
pricey. It is fairly pricey, but here, let me attempt to defend it real quick. It is essentially like having a second console. So you can have your normal Switch and your dock upstairs in your room, right? This is where you play games by yourself and stuff like that as well too. But then you go downstairs or into your living room area, whatever, and you want to play with your family, play Just Dance or anything like that, but you don't want to bring your dock downstairs. Boom, you got a dock right there. Slide the Switch in, second console. There you go. Or if you have another house, say you have like a vacation home or something, and you don't want to have to carry all your stuff with you, you already have a dock there, you just have to bring your Switch with you as well too. So there you go.
That's nice, isn't it?
Second console. I think it's a good idea. I do agree with you that the price.
Why? With a lot of the so expensive for the Switch though?
That's what I was gonna say. A lot of the accessories are very expensive. I don't know. I couldn't tell you because people will buy them. That's why.
You're a Nintendo man. I thought you would know.
I couldn't tell you why they're so expensive. I probably will get another dock. Just see exactly. Just to have that, like, be able to go and have it at another place as well too, and just slide the Switch in.
Is the normal dock itself difficult to take around?
Not really. It's not particularly big. The Switch is a little bit. The Switch is a little bit bigger than the XL, and a dock is a little bit bigger than the Switch.
Correct. Well, the Switch is about like the same without like Joy-Cons on the side. It's probably about the same size. Then when you put the Joy-Cons on, obviously it gets longer. But no, you're right. It's not like you're packing up an Xbox One and taking it somewhere as well too, which I've done. It's a process. No, the Switch dock is fairly smaller.
Well, so is there much point in being able to buy another Switch dock, really, then, if you could just normally take a regular Switch with you, a Switch dock with you?
I can... And the thing is, I have to admit, I can see kind of where Jared is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, like, for me, obviously, assuming that money was no issue and I had the money spare for it or whatever...
Yeah, that's what it comes down to, really.
If I was with my girlfriend, she doesn't play video games, and she's not really a big fan of me playing video games in front of her because I tend to sort of zone out and she'll be talking to me and I just won't hear what she's saying because I'm so sort of focused on what I'm doing. So, say I had a Switch and I had the money for the second dock, I could be like, she'd be like, oh, I want to do this, I need the TV. Like, okay, cool. I'll just take it and I'll take it to the other room with the second dock and I'll put it into the second dock and then I can play on that TV and she can do what she has to do and I can do what I had to do.
Yeah, exactly.
But I just can't warrant paying that amount of money just for convenience.
Yeah, and like even with your situation, like just the kind of scenario that you had, you could just play in handheld mode, or you could just stand it up and do it at tabletop mode as well too. I mean,
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not ideal compared to playing on a TV. It's not going to be perfect.
Yeah,
but it's also going to be like 70 quid cheaper.
I think that the biggest, where we'll see it the biggest, is people that have like multiple houses, or they like vacation like to other places to see family a lot. I can see it there.
Yeah, it would be cool. I mean, like going back to the whole sort of girlfriend, like I don't live with my girlfriend, so if I had the money spare to buy a dock to have at hers,
yeah, that
would be helpful, because then I could have it. I'd have a dock at hers. I could just plug it in, and again,
yeah. See, and the thing about the Switch is like it's tiny. Like it's a lot smaller than it appears to be. Like I can fit it in my pocket, so that's like no storage at all. I just slide in my pocket and go to, like you said, girlfriend's house or family's house. It's small. Yeah,
and then you just sort of put it in the dock. I get that. I just can't warrant the price. Like no matter what I do, I always come back to the money.
Justifying the price is difficult because it is a lot, and like you were saying, a lot of the accessories are pretty pricey as well too.
Isn't it like the same sort of price for a set of Joy-Cons?
No, actually, Joy-Cons are cheaper. They're $79 for 2.
Oh, I do apologize.
So yeah, the Joy-Cons are cheaper.
Guys, this is...
And I think they're $49 by themselves and $79 together for 2.
It's £49 for one Joy-Con.
Yeah.
Money. Nintendo expects you to have a lot of it, apparently.
Apparently so. I was going to say, Greg, you're awfully quiet on this matter.
I mean, I'm a little tired today, if I'm totally honest. I'm a little exhausted from a few weeks of work. I also don't fully grasp things. So, right, the I don't understand. So why would you need the Switch dock? Why would you need more than one if you could just take the original?
Mainly,
can a Switch be plugged into like a normal just whatever to charge it, or is it dependent on...
Yeah, that's the thing. No, you can use it.
Go on, sorry, you'll know more than that. We're also gone.
Well, yeah, it uses USB-C to charge. So if you have a USB-C, you can charge it that way as well too. But from my understanding, I don't think if you have like a USB-C to HDMI, it won't work that way. Like that, it won't work like that.
I see.
Now, I'm not 100% on that, but
you said stuff and I was just like, yeah, I totally get that. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
The long and short of it, Greg, is convenience.
I see.
Yeah, I guess that's the biggest thing.
If you want to play,
like convenience, I hear.
If you want to play, because literally the Switch, I've not played one, but I've seen it up close, and it is just a little bit bigger than a 3DS XL. It's not a big, like in terms of the screen size, it's not a massive console. So if you was going to somewhere else quite frequently, or like what Jared said, like say you've got like a family that want to play it downstairs and you want to play it upstairs, if you have the money spare, it's a nice thing because you can just walk downstairs, plug it into the dock, and it goes onto the TV, and then you haven't got to try and huddle around this tiny little screen doing all of the crap that you want to do. You can just have it on the TV in your
surely
front room.
That's half the point of the Switch, that it is supposed to be mobile.
And honestly, like going around the little screen isn't bad. I brought it to kind of like a gathering with friends, and we played Mario Kart in tabletop, and it's not really bad at all.
You did the thing that the advert wanted you to do, where you get all your friends at a park bench and you all jump around.
Well, it was in a house, but almost. It was in a park bench.
That's shut down.
Oh
wow.
Well,
but no, I mean it was good. I mean that was my main concern, is split screen on like just the tablet part itself, and it's not bad. It works.
See, you were supposed to be talking me into getting the second dock, but you literally just keep talking me out of it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ben.
Clearly it's not. Well, I mean, Ben, do you even own a regular Switch?
Me? No, I don't.
Yeah. Well,
see, that's your first step.
See,
that's why I'm convincing you other,wise, because you don't even have a Switch to begin with.
Yeah,
so, like, Ben, don't buy this.
I'm at a definite disadvantage if I bought this.
I mean, you could buy it as like a fashion statement. That'd be cool.
My Switch is in my holiday home. I left it there.
That's what you can brag to everyone, and they'll be like, "Wow, he is so kawaii."
With all the AdSense money.
Kawaii.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. We are kind of plowing through this. Wow. Okay.
We didn't have much news this week, a bit like last week, but we figured we'd be all right with these 4 stories, but we are really plowing through. It doesn't help that I'm fucking tired and I can't come up with some clever tangent that can get everyone occupied.
Yeah, you're the one that normally lends it out.
Yeah, where's the train wrecks? Where's the tangents, Greg?
I'm not... you know when people say they're firing on all cylinders?
Is that what's happening?
I'm not doing that. I'm not firing on all cylinders. Is where that analogy was going.
You sound like you need sleep, dude.
I do, but after this is my break between essay writing. After this, I'm going to continue working.
Oh, finals at uni are so fun, aren't they?
Yeah, no,
I'm in the same boat.
I'm actually behind my essay schedule at the moment, so I need to be working even harder. Woo!
Oh, okay. Well, let's move on to the next piece then.
Okay.
Okay.
Something that I will. Yeah. I'm happy for this actually. I'm hoping it doesn't turn out shit. The old Gears of War movie.
I'm optimistic that it will be good.
So Gears of War movie has a new screenwriter to write the movie adaptation. His name is Shane Salerno. Salerno? Am I saying that right? I apologize if I butchered that.
I'd say that's Salerno. Yeah. I'd call that a Salerno, man.
Well, I mean, he's kind of... his resume kind of is a bit meh, and then it goes very, very good. So, like, he did Ghost Rider, which was okay. It wasn't amazing. He's on the TV series Hawaii Five-0. I haven't heard many people talking about it, but I haven't heard many people slating it off either. Aliens vs. Predators wasn't terrible. It wasn't the best movie.
And that's the first Alien vs. Predator.
Yes.
Or is it the second one?
Well, no, it's Aliens vs. Predators.
Oh, that's confusing. Why don't they not... They should just do numbers with that fucking series. I don't know why they don't.
So wait, which one is that then? Is that's the second one?
Well,
I'm Googling it.
Yeah, I'm Googling Aliens versus Predator. Come on, bastard. Anyway, yeah, so, and then he kind of... I'll let Greg Google it. I feel like that might be a typo.
Is that the one which is in the temple underground?
I think that is the one in the temple underground.
I like that one. I like that one.
Yeah, see, that one was an okay movie, and then he's been trusted to write the next 4 sequels of Avatar. So his resume like kind of went a bit, and it's like, well, if James Cameron trusts you, then you must be.
I guess we'll trust you too.
Yeah, you must be a pretty damn good screenwriter, I guess.
James Cameron trusts you. That's just, if like. I'm struggling with this analogy. Usually when I start talking, the words come to meet me, but they haven't today. If you, Ben, had a man that you entrusted with your goldfish for a weekend, I wouldn't by default trust them with my goldfish. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
Well, what if he's just playing the ladder? Maybe he's like getting your goldfish, so he gets a good recommendation, so he can get to my fucking goldfish.
So ye have little faith, Greg.
I do. I'm a skeptical man.
I was just kind of to go off on a like tangent from your tangent. I was just reading this article, and you know how we were saying like, oh, we hope it's good, and before the podcast started, we were saying about how Gears of War has one of the better storylines to follow in terms of a movie game. Or a game movie.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Greg before. I mean, Ben, that out of all like the video game movie adaptations there's been, Gears of War seems to have the most like promising story to be a movie.
I thought that about Assassin's Creed, and look where that landed.
Well,
like
I haven't seen it yet.
Let's just say this, okay? Rodfer, the guy from the head of the Coalition studio who made the games. My mind went completely blank as I went to say his name. Basically, the movie isn't going to take the story from a specific game. It's going to have a new story set in the same universe.
Ah, interesting. That's what my next question was, who do you guys think was going to play Marcus Phoenix? But if it's not even like them, then just...
Am I... it's like when they say, let's get them to make a Mass Effect movie, or let's get them to make a Halo... Although the Halo stuff's not too bad, to be fair. But
there's been Halo movies.
The Halo, some of the Halo stuff's quite good, actually, to be fair. But like a Mass Effect movie or a Gears of War movie, I don't really see them doing too well because they're kind of predicated on their gameplay. I feel like the stories of Gears of War, I mean, correct me if you don't agree, but I feel like the stories of Gears of War and Mass Effect aren't that unique. Like, they don't really do anything that Hollywood can't already do with their hands tied around their back. So I don't really see what it's... I don't think it's necessarily... Well, it could do well, but I don't think it's necessarily an ingredient, like, got the ingredients there for, like, easy success.
The problem is that, like, these movies, they tend to just bring in people who have played the game. And they always tend to fail at bringing in that new audience, you know. Like you're saying, you know, Gears of War, humans are at war with a species who want to kill us, and it's two friends and their squadron, or whatever you want to call them, you know, fighting off hordes and surviving by the skin of their teeth. It all sounds very typical.
I think they could do good things if they were to try and make it a... I mean... Because in reality, think about Gears of War as a universe. Put yourselves there. Close your eyes, chaps, and put yourselves there.
I think Greg's waking up. Go on.
If you were in one of these battles with all of your friends around you in their weird blue armor, and all of the bad guys are all nicely lit up in red, and they're over there and they're fucking coming at you, and you see your good friend, he's got a chainsaw mounted to the bottom of his gun, and he's now cutting a beast in half with it. That's fucking spooks. Can you imagine that in a film? That might be quite good. Like if they were to play it as a really dark film where everything is just grim.
Well,
that might be
come
good.
On. If they did 1 and 2 as the first Gears movie, and then 3 and 4 as the second, like skip Judgment, fuck Judgment. You do 1 and 2 as the first Gears movie because that's your dark movie, you know. That's there's two spoilers for anybody who's never played Gears of War, but 1 and 2 were the dark ones because that was the dark time for humanity. That was the are we going to survive? And then you had all of the stuff with Dom and Maria, and that was quite dark.
Stuff like that is just like.
And I feel like if that was done properly, that would be good. And then you cut it off at the end of 2, and you make people wait for a little while. And then you bring in 3 and all of the shit that happened with 3 with Dom and, you know, Maria's hometown and all of that shit.
But they're going to be writing a new story, aren't they? They're not adapting.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is what I mean, is that like the actual Gears core sort of story of humans versus another race and all of that stuff, another species, it's not that great. It's the character interactions and all of the story that doesn't get told that make Gears a fun game to play and a good story to follow.
Yeah, like you said, it's kind of like the dark aspects of it, like with Dom and Maria, his wife, and everything, and searching for her and how that all plays out. And then in 3, which what happens to Dom, all that stuff as well too. Taking those dark aspects are what really would push the movie and make it good.
I feel like they should have just done the story of the games.
Yeah, exactly.
And
but then everyone knows what's coming, and everyone knows not to get too excited when they see Ty on the screen, and you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, but I mean,
he didn't have a good time,
dude. In terms of film goers, if you looked at film goers as a whole, people who are going to go and see a gritty, dark action movie, which is what Gears would be, the people who go and see that movie, what percentage of them do you think, like, forget that it's a Gears movie, just people who enjoy gritty action movies with dark aspects, of the people who enjoy that,
a lot of people,
of the people who enjoy that genre of film, the percentage of them who have played Gears is probably really small.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but how many people? I mean, I think about the writers. They one of the reasons why a lot of the Star Wars books and things like that, like a lot of the canon books, they'll write around films and games, and it happens with Halo a bit too. One of the reasons why sometimes they're quite weak is because their hands are tied behind their backs and they're told that they don't have a lot of room to breathe and they can't do very much with it. They're not telling their own original story. They're just filling in the blanks for the main story. Or indeed, in the case of that, they would just be reconveying a story that's already been told, and that would probably, I don't know, unless you had someone that really, really loved the original story and had all of these ideas of how to direct it and everything in a really nice way, I don't really see how that would have a brilliant outcome.
Well,
I think they're best off coming up with their own story.
By that logic, then, like the Gears, the Last of Us movies, like doomed to fail.
I mean, don't know. Is that what it's doing? Are they recreating the?
They have the producers. Last I checked, they had the producers from the game, the director of the game, all involved in the production and direction of the movie, and it was like a recreation of the game.
Are they recreating the story and everything?
Yeah.
Well, coming from like what you were saying, Greg, if like with the Last of Us movie, if it followed it exactly, I mean, when I played Last of Us, it kind of already felt like an interactive movie to begin with, and I don't think I'd go and watch a movie of The Last of Us because I already kind of, like you said, experienced it in the game, which was almost like a movie to begin with.
I mean, I just kind of, for me, it's one of those things where I look and I think, in the grand scheme of things, the people who would go and see a Gears movie based upon a trailer, the percentage of them who have probably played Gears is relatively small. And yes, it would be shit boring to write and it would be shit boring to direct and produce, because if you was following it in the way that we're talking about following it, you would be extremely limited. It would be a case of, you know, like, no, that did not happen, you can't do that because that's going to fuck with the entire timeline.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, in a creative aspect, it's going to be shit boring. But at the same time, it's money.
I mean, money is good.
Isn't that what it's all about?
In Hollywood, that is all what it's about.
You don't need good.
In the world is what it's all about.
Yeah, it's not even just Hollywood.
Yeah.
And I just kind of like,
I'm just sad.
I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. It depends. I can't really comment too much on it because I don't know what they are going to go down with the story. I mean, if they weren't going to do anything that was in the games, I would like to have seen a movie based on the Pendulum Wars and seen Dizzy and all of those kind of people.
Yeah, stuff like that.
In the Pendulum Wars before the first Gears game began.
But that's why, I mean, I don't see... That's why Terminator never did a film entirely set in the days of the war. They always just sort of hinted at the war, and then they told another story which was sort of like more interesting, I guess, because just a film about a war, that's not always that easy to work out. A lot of the films that are just about a war do as well as they do because we have a lot of cultural resonance with the war that it's about. Like it's a real world war, you know, beat the Hitler, beat the other Hitlers, you know, that sort of stuff. Those are the films about wars.
Hitlers.
Look, I literally can't think of any other wars that we care about, but there were wars that we care about. The Cold War, that was important, as was World War One, and some other ones.
I feel like I would like to sit there in a cinema watching a big screen with a surround and just like watch E-Day happen. I would love to watch that on the big screen.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff, that's what I want from a Gears movie. I want to see, I want to see people walking around and then all of a sudden there's a hole and these things are coming out and they're shooting people and it's like, shit, what the fuck's happening? what's going on, and I want to see, as horrible and sadistic as that sounds, I want to see
I want to see all these people die.
No, I don't want to see people, I want to see the panic, you know,
I want to see the kids go down first. I want to see the children. I want to see the schools burn.
To me, that's what it would be, you know, like if I'm walking along and a fucking hole opens up and a locust comes out with a fucking hammer burst, I ain't gonna be like, yo, hey, what's up, man? Like, I'm gonna be
terrified. What you're gonna be dead.
But you're gonna be hoping there's a camera to capture every moment, so someone can enjoy it for them.
I'll go full like OTT.
Hopefully, someone makes this into a movie.
Can you imagine if that happened in the real world? We would just blog about it. That's all would happen. We'd vlog it. We'd be like, oh, so guess what, guys? I've taken a selfie with this guy with oh god, he's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
That would be it. They would be some kind of get a picture of a locust without being shot challenge.
Yeah.
Or something.
It's gonna be an achievement. That's what it's gonna be.
I don't know, man. I get what you're saying, because, you know, at the end of the day, you have people creating something. So if you restrict their creative flow and what they can do with it, then
they're limited.
Yeah, the majority of the time you don't get a good product.
I think you raise a good point with E-Day. I think because that's a time in the games that's never in detail explored. We only really hear about it. And you know, we see it in like a trailer or something. That's it. Like we see 2 minutes of it. I think they could tell a good story about like a platoon that's fighting in the Pendulum Wars. I don't know the lore so well. I think it went straight from Pendulum Wars to E-Day, and then the Locust War. They could follow that, and then they can suddenly transition, and like in the middle of the film, just that all happens. You could do loads of brilliant filmmaking and brilliant scenes with E-Day, because as a concept, it's really good. I think there's potential there. You've won me over a bit, actually, Ben.
I feel like as long as they don't fuck with the lore too much, you know, okay, write an original story, but as long as it fits into the lore, you know, when you start messing with the lore, that's when you're gonna start losing people.
At least like the hardcore fans that have played through all the games.
But then it comes back to the whole point of, you know, if the hardcore fans are such a small part, are they actually going to give a crap?
And to be fair, how many people consider themselves hardcore fans of Gears of War now? Really, like. I feel like it's lost its sort of determined following. I mean, I know very few people.
I played all of them. I didn't play 4, but I actually didn't play Judgment either.
I didn't play
not miss out anything.
That's what I heard. Everyone said, skip Judgment. I have it. They said, skip Judgment, don't even play it. It's awful.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, if you're into Gears...
If you enjoy a video game, Judgment is tolerable.
Fine, it's cool because it explains what happened with Baird and Cole before they were in. Is it Delta that Marcus and Dom are in?
Yeah, I think it's Delta.
Yes.
Squad.
So, but before they meet Marcus and Dom, it's kind of all of the shit that they're doing before and how they got into Delta and
because we were all gagging for that story to be told.
Yeah,
we
I was wondering, where are these side characters coming from?
Okay, it's kind of a bad game, alright, because like it feels like it's an arcade game. You know, you play it.
Now, someone was telling me that the controls are even like different, like the controlling of the characters.
It's COD controls. You press Y to change weapon, and it's all kind of weird stuff that's not Gears and was very bleh. But you get from A to B, and then the level ends, and then there's like a mini cutscene, and then there's the next level. It plays like an arcade game.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I have it. I've never played it before.
Make the time for it. I mean, if you ever sit in there genuinely shit bored with nothing to play, it's not the worst game in the world.
I'm never so bored that's as low as I need to fall. Like, Xbox drops so many free games on me all the time.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I am always having something, like my library is just packed with all of these games just because we get free stuff all the time.
If you ever want to jump back into the Gears lore,
play Judgment.
Whatever mad reason. Yeah.
All right.
I like the Gears games. I love them. Okay.
Let's crash the last one because we managed to actually long that out quite a little bit talking about the Gears movie.
We did it, guys.
We did it.
We did it.
We can do it.
All right.
We did it.
Star Wars Battlefront 2 is set to have 3 times as much content as Battlefront 1. Did I say Battlefield 2? I feel like I said Battlefield 2.
I think you did.
I was talking about Battlefront.
EA's Battlefront 2.
Yes.
Yes.
I talk a lot of shit about EA, but credit to them because it sounds like they actually listened to what people said.
Yeah, see, like, for me, that was, like, my biggest concern, I guess, with the first game. Like, I played through the beta, and then I only played the full game once after that, and I was like, I got the full experience playing the beta. I didn't buy the game. And that's how I kind of felt.
That's exactly,
like there wasn't
exactly what
enough
I did.
There. Yeah, I played the beta and I was like, wow, that's great. And I played the game and I was like, wow, this is the beta. And I didn't buy it.
I just had a thought.
Oh dear.
Maybe they're saying it has 3 times as much content as Battlefront 1 because they just have everything but in 3 eras. Maybe that's what that means.
Oh, do you reckon he's like being a bit of a spin doctor?
Maybe.
A bit of a wordsmith.
Yeah, like sort of saying a thing and then meaning another, but implying the first thing quite heavily.
Even
we know there's going to be single player though.
Yeah, like, even if it is 3
Yes.
times as much content, that doesn't mean it's not going to be behind a pay gate.
Yeah,
like let's remember
that's true.
that,
Exactly, that's true.
There might be like, oh well, the 3 times as much content because you've got a single player campaign and there's more to do in multiplayer, and we're giving you 2 years of season pass instead of 1.
Oh, they did
That's
that,
true.
didn't they? They did that.
We don't know what direction they're going to go.
Who did they do? Ubisoft did that with Rainbow Six Siege.
Of course they did.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have year 2.
It's actually a good game, though.
It's a good game. Street Fighter
really enjoyed Rainbow
5
Six.
has a second year season pass.
Interesting. I guess it's just to prolong the longevity of the game.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, basically there was a earnings conference. Big companies, big publishers like EA, Ubisoft, they do these like once a year, sort of say how they did throughout the financial year, and they outline what they have planned for the next couple of years. So yeah, usual shit that you'd expect. You got the visceral Star Wars, apparently action adventure IP, which nobody still knows what that is. Another new game from BioWare, and a Star Wars game from Respawn, which could be interesting.
Oh, I remember that video where they showed up like all the companies that are making Star Wars games.
There is so much Star Wars content coming out in the next like 2 years. It's unreal.
I'm interested to see what Respawn does with Star Wars.
Visceral, I want to say I'm excited for, but
it's weird because we're starting. I wonder if they're like literally not concerned at all at the idea of there being a Star Wars fatigue suddenly setting in. Like,
it's almost
that
like
way.
Disney are releasing a Star Wars movie every year for the next 5 years.
well, they are, aren't they? That's literally what they're doing.
Yeah, that's literally what they're doing. Like you have, is it the Han Solo one this year?
And they've already got
And
the
then
next
Last
trilogy
Jedi's
set up
next
as
one.
well. They're working on the
really?
anthology trilogy. They're doing the 7, 8, and 9, and they've already confirmed that they're going to do 10, 11, and 12. Like, eventually.
Jeez.
Like, they're
Just milk that cow.
Disney's just like, we own Star Wars, we own Star Wars, we own Star Wars. Build everything that you can with Star Wars.
Meanwhile, George Lucas is just like weeping openly into a fucking pillow.
Yeah, just like, look what they're doing with my license.
It's just
They're
like,
not talking about Yoda's floaty chair, or they're
wiping
not
his
casting my
wiping
children
his
as
tears away with the
characters.
fucking $100 bills that Disney gave him for his IP that they're running into the ground.
I mean, to be fair, so far so good. I mean, apart from EA Battlefront, had some downsides, but you know, in the film universe, so far so good.
I mean, yeah, the films are great.
I loved Rogue One so
Oh, Rogue One
much.
was so good.
It might be. Ben, watch it. It might be my favourite Star Wars film.
I just never got around to it. It's on the list to watch. I just never got around to it.
It's worth it. Get it on Blu-ray. Sit yourself down and just watch it.
Get it on Ultra 4K HD. Sit yourself down. Just kidding. Don't do that.
The early part of the film isn't so strong, but the latter half mid-end is like, ooh, and yeah, the end. Oh.
It's very emotional.
It's an emotional film, and it is
very emotional.
And if you just like to see awesome shit just happen, you'll love it. Because that's what I like about Star Wars, and that's one of the reasons why I quite like the prequel trilogies. Well, not. I don't like most of the films, but I do like that they have more interesting action. I like to just see lightsaber battles and battles happening and shit going on. Like, that's good. Yeah. I like to see that.
You should get a job in advertising, Greg. If you like to see shit happening, this is for you. Like, yes, I'm sold.
I will sell as in me advertise to people.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll go on the street and I will tell everyone shit happens in this film. Go watch it.
They're like, wow, we need to go watch this film.
Yeah, I will be emotive and possibly a bit frightening, and that's what will get people in the cinema or whatever I'm advertising.
But definitely.
Are you guys excited for Battlefront 2 then?
I'm excited. Like, after I saw like the story trailer,
it's got space battles. It's got space battle.
I was never that forlorn about the loss of space battles.
I loved Battlefront 2, original Battlefront 2 space battles. You fly to the ship, you go into the ship and destroy it from the inside. Like, that was the best.
That's a cool concept. I hope they do good stuff with it. But I was never one of the people that was like, no space battles. I figured,
Don't you always find that, like, whenever a series gets rebooted, that it's always like pancakes? Like, the first one's always kind of meh. Like, even if it's good, it's still not great. And then after that, they get better.
You know, I can't stand pancakes.
Oh, dude. Whenever you cook a pancake, the first pancake's always a bit bleh. It never comes out perfect. And then the next
pancakes are bleh.
Oh, dude. I'm going to fucking replace you with Matt. That's it. Just for that comment.
No, I'm going to send you a pancake in the mail. Just in an envelope. I'm going to try my pancakes, Greg.
You can't smother my voice. The people want to hear me. They want to hear my minority opinions about pancakes and platformers.
Somebody has genuinely asked if I can do like a side episode with Greg and just let Greg ramble for like 45 minutes.
I saw that in the comments. Do you know who that someone is who requested a real Greg cast?
Go on.
That's Ozzy.
Really? Oh, dude, we should do it.
We should do it. Just an hour of just me chatting?
Yeah, I will literally just sit back and sip my tea and you can do whatever.
That would just be garbage. I would have to...
Dude, I'm cool with shitposting, man. I don't care. I'm cool with shitposting.
Well, I'll just like put on a game or something and then just chat over the game.
I figured I was sort of looking and I was like, I guarantee you this guy knows.
Every now and then, Ben, you could just throw topics at Greg, just random words, and he could just play off of it as he must.
I'll just what's it fucking called? There's a word for it. Fuck. No, don't worry. Anyway, my mind completely went blank.
You know what? After this awful month is over, I will have time and energy, and I will be able to do the things I want to do, and I'll have fun like all the girls did in the 80s, thanks to Cyndi Lauper. It was Lautner? I can't even fucking remember. That's Taylor Lautner. That's a different person.
And another good thing is E3 is next month as
well.
That is not a good thing.
We should get a tsunami of news.
Yeah. Because that's fun, isn't it?
And then we'll have to do a podcast every day to follow all the conferences.
Let's do it.
Oh, no. I like E3 because all of the stuff comes out. I hate reporting on E3 because it is so draining. It's unreal.
Well, that's why I said to you, Ben, this is how the podcast was originally conceived as an idea behind the scenes at Games Bulletin chaps and chapettes and the otherwise inclined. I said to Ben when last year's E3 was happening, something to do with it seems like you're struggling to keep up with all of the news in video form. We should do a podcast next year where we just get as many of the writers on board as we can to just talk about everything that happened on each day. And Ben said he was interested, and then we didn't really talk much about it. And then we later said, how about we just do a weekly podcast? And he's like, yeah. And here we are. We have Jared on board. I
came here.
Yep, our token American. We've got all of this great news that we talk about, although for the next few weeks it's probably not going to be much because it's the pre-E3 lull, so we have to
it's calm before the storm.
No, dude, it does happen. Like last year, I remember it's a bit dry before E3. Everyone keeps their cards a bit close to their chest, especially the big publishers and stuff. Just because
I feel like we got a lot of news before E3 last year. Like last year, we got a lot of big stuff. Like before the conference,
we had a lot of big leaks. We didn't have.
Oh, that's what it was.
It wasn't so much leaks that happened. It was people were leaking stuff like 2 days before the conferences.
I remember
that. Because you had a website that was dedicated to posting about it, and there was like 5 pages of leaks or some shit. It was ridiculous.
Should be good though. I mean, you'll probably hear a lot more of us, which hopefully is a good thing.
I mean, I need to work out how we're going to do it. We'll definitely have E3 podcasts, I will say.
Yeah.
It might not be every day because like that's quite a big commitment for me to make right now.
I need to work out the best format in which to do it.
Also, I'm getting married, so
there is that as well.
When's your marriage, Jared?
June 17th. Ooh. So that's like 2 days before E3.
That is 2 days before. When
after.
Are you going to be honeymooning or something?
Are you going to honeymoon at E3?
You know what? That would make my life. I would start off the marriage so strong. I don't know how much she'd enjoy it, but you know what? I'm happy, so I mean, I guess that's all that matters.
A marriage is about, in many ways, victories over one another and one-upping each other.
It is pretty much.
And I think
you're still here and listening. Don't listen to Greg's marriage advice because.
Well, we're coming to the end of the show. We've got to talk about marriage advice, and I recommend everyone to see your partner as your adversary and actively try to undermine, overwhelm, and generally just get your way over them, because that's the best thing in any relationship. And also, whoever says communication is good for a relationship is completely wrong. Keep as many secrets as you can. Make it about inconsequential things. Spill coffee on the floor and then just don't tell her or him. Just don't say anyone. Don't tell it to anyone. That's my advice.
There you go. You heard it here first.
The divorce rate is? It's a lot. It's probably because of you.
Do I need to qualify that I don't believe in any of that advice?
No,
you probably should, because people are going to come out and be like, "Oh, Greg hates marriage."
Because that's like, surely that's obvious that that's all the opposite of what everyone should.
I don't, Greg. Some people might not know.
Some
people are slamming their heads on the keyboard right now, like, "Greg hates marriage." What's happening?
Oh wow,
that's magic.
Okay, well, I suppose that wraps up this episode then.
That's.
If you was watching it on YouTube, the Twitter handles for the guys, they'll be on the screen. If you're on the podcast, I will put them in the description on iTunes or whatever. They'll be somewhere. Do you guys want to say anything before we head off?
Don't listen to Greg's marriage advice, everybody.
Yeah, I second that.
Your own.
I don't really have much to say. Have a nice week. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
We'll be back next week, and we'll see you guys then.